I have to say, you surprised and impressed me out there. The way you fought, I mean. From the way you were behaving before, I didn't think you carried that strength inside of you. That self-discipline, that sort of coldness that you need to have to win a fight like that. I misjudged you, severely, and for that I do truly hope that you can forgive me. I'm glad. It is certainly relieving to know that you don't take offense from that. Although, what I have to say next might seem hurtful, and I do apologize if it comes off that way. It comes from a place of concern, I assure you. But I will certainly understand if you take it another way. What I want to say to you is, you put up a very good fight. However, your opponent did the same. You were both fairly evenly matched, and although you fought beautifully, you fought so well, so did he. And I understand that Leorio also spoke to you about this, but I really do think that you should consider allowing one of us to examine you. I know that you would prefer it if we didn't have to do this, but you were slammed onto your back. Your back took all of the force from that impact. Odds are, if you're injured, you won't be able to see the full extent of your wounds. I would hate to see someone like you injured so badly. But more than that, I would hate seeing someone like you die because they didn't seek medical treatment, proper medical treatment. I know that you aren't the most sociable, at least not around strangers like us, but for the sake of your health, I do have to insist. And if it's just the idea of Leorio conducting the exam that makes you uncomfortable, I would be more than happy to help you. You can't handle this on your own. I know that you might want to seem strong. You might want to seem like you don't need anyone else. But you are hurt. I can tell from the way you're moving. You are hurt in a place that you cannot see and that you cannot reach. I am sorry that you don't like this. I really am. And if this could happen any other way, without sacrificing your well-being or your comfort, I would certainly do my best to ensure that that is what happened. But the reality is, you might have to sacrifice a little bit of your comfort so that you're able to stay alive. I truly feel bad for this. You might not realize it, but I do not want to make you uncomfortable in any way. I find it rather shameful, to be perfectly honest. But I would find it more shameful to let you suffer. If there is anything I can do to make this experience less unpleasant for you, I will do it. But there is no way of avoiding this. You need an exam, and you can't do it all yourself. I don't mean to sound so harsh or so angry, but why are you refusing this? Why are you fighting against this so stubbornly? You are being stubborn. I am trying to help you. I know you don't know me. I know you might not trust me, but at the moment we are in this together. We need each other. We are being forced to rely on each other. I am more than willing to help you right now. Why can't you just let me? I beg your pardon? You think that I'll hate you if you let me help you? I don't understand. You think that I would understand if you told me? I disagree. I might try to understand, but I can't imagine any reason anyone would have for hating you. Unless you were a member of the Phantom Troupe. I certainly wouldn't hate you. I'm not making an empty promise. Tell me why you think I'll hate you. You will allow me to do the exam? Although I'm fairly certain you're trying to distract me from the issue at hand, I would like to tend to your injuries. Could you lift your shirt a little? Yes, it would be easier if you took it off completely, as long as you're comfortable with... I don't understand. Well, first of all, it seems like the only wounds on your back are a few scrapes and a lot of bruising. That shouldn't be too difficult to treat, but the rest of you, the way you introduced yourself, the way that you behave, it doesn't seem to match the way that your body looks. I'm sorry, I hope that doesn't sound rude. It's just, I've never known anyone to appear this way, to present themselves in a way that contradicts the way that they appear. I certainly don't understand why people would hate you for this. I don't hate you for it. I don't understand. I've never met anyone who was transgender? Is that the word for someone like you? What does it mean? No, I really don't know. I lived in a smaller community. We were sheltered from the rest of the world. I didn't have the chance to meet people who were extremely different from my friends and family. Of course, being different in this way isn't bad. It's confusing to me. I don't mean to be rude, and I don't mean to make you uncomfortable, but could you explain? Yes, I know what the difference between gender and sex is. Sex is defined by the chromosomes in your body and the body parts that you have as a result. And gender is more of a social construct. Things like pronouns or behavioral patterns that are attributed to boys and to girls. Oh. So, someone who is transgender is someone whose gender doesn't align with their sex. I see. And because gender is assigned based on sex, oftentimes at birth, you don't align with the gender that you were assigned. So for instance, someone who is transgender might have the body of a woman, but the gender of a man? All right. I think I'm beginning to understand. But I still don't understand why people would hate you for this. Some people think that being transgender is wrong. They think that it's delusional. I can understand being confused by it if it's new to you. I can understand not understanding if you yourself aren't transgender, but to say it's wrong, to say that it's a delusion, that doesn't make any sense. After all, if I'm understanding this correctly, you changed your pronouns, didn't you? And possibly even your name? Then how is that any different from changing the way you address someone who recently got married, for example? Typically, a woman will change her last name when she gets married. But people don't have an issue with that. Nor do they have an issue with calling her Mrs. instead of Miss. Why would someone take issue with this, if not that? It's essentially the same level of effort that they need to put forth. Indeed. They certainly are jerks. Forgive me, I would prefer not to use the language that you used, though I do certainly agree with it. Of course I do. To be perfectly honest, I don't care how you identify. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what kind of body you have. I don't even care what your name is or if it aligns with the gender you were assigned at birth. All I care about is what you put into this world. I care about whether you bring more good into this world than you do bad. If you bring more good into this world, more justice, more kindness, then you are a very good person in my book. You didn't expect me to be so... what? Understanding? I'd hardly say I'm understanding. There's still a lot about this that confuses me, but the basic idea seems to be fairly simple. I will just continue to address you the way that I did before, the way that you introduced yourself. That is the way you want to be addressed, correct? Then I will continue to do so. And I take it you aren't ready to tell the others yet? That's why you were so stubborn about not letting us examine you? That's all right. I completely understand. But if it's any consolation, I don't think that Leorio would judge you. He wants to be a doctor. If he judged anyone just because of something like this, that wouldn't make him a good doctor. Whether he agrees with it or not, and I do think that he would agree with this, I would hope that he would at least be respectfully silent about his opinion. As for Gon and Killua, I think Killua is a bit like me. He doesn't care about your identity, just the way you behave. And Gon, he won't understand a thing, but I'm sure he'd be willing to try. Just think about that, all right? I won't try to force you to tell them, but if you want more people who will support you, I think they would be a good group to tell.